I am really enjoying actually looking at the vineyard values, and it's been a challenge, continues to be a challenge to me, thinking about what makes us distinctive, what makes the vineyard, what are the things that we really need to hold on to, because they are really important. And the one that we're going to have a look at today, again, it's just challenging me. And I think it challenges us. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I'm going to start, not yet. I will do, we'll get there. But I want to look at the last part. So I know, Adam, that I've given you a section of verses. I'm actually going to look at the Isaiah one, 58, but the verse 6, first of all. The verse 8. Oh my goodness, I haven't even got my glasses. That must be 8. I think that's 8. Hang on a second, this is really professional. What does that say? 8. There we go. Verse 8 first. The reason being is because, thank you. The reason being is because they're linked. And I want us to look at verse 8 first. Because Isaiah 58, verse 8, it says, "Your salvation will come like the dawn, and your wounds will quickly heal. Your godliness will lead you forward, and the glory of the Lord will protect you from behind. Then you will call, the Lord will answer, 'Yes, I am here,' and he will quickly reply." That sounds good. Healing, God listening to us, God responding to us. That's the sort of stuff, surely, that most people want. But this is what I want to point out, and this is what feeds into our topic. And this is a really short talk today. I'm going to try and make it really short because it's a Connect service. That verse 8, it starts with the word "then." Then your salvation will come. And it starts with the word "then" because it has something before it that is really important, which is at the heart of a vineyard church. It's this. So I'm going to backtrack now to same chapter, but starting in verse 6. It says, "Now, this is the kind of fasting that I want." This is God speaking. He's just been talking about people are fasting, they're going without things, they're being very religious, they're even covering themselves with ashes, they're not wearing their posh clothes. And God is saying, this is what you're doing, and this is the kind of fasting I want. It's to free those who are wrongly imprisoned. It's to lighten the burden of those that work for you. It's to let the oppressed go free and remove the chains that bind people. It's to share your food with the hungry and give shelter to the homeless. It's to give clothes to those that need them, and do not hide from relatives who need your help. And then it uses the word "then." All of the blessings of God comes to us and through us once we have met the needs of people around us. Once we've met and done stuff for the poor, the broken, the needy. That's one of the vineyard values. It's remember the poor. Caring for the lost, the least, the lost, and the last. And at the end there, going to verse 9 now. "Then when you call, the Lord will answer, 'Yes, here I am,' and he will quickly reply." There's something that happens. We connect with God, and God delights in us when we meet the need of the poor. Because all through this book, from beginning to end, God has a heart for the poor, the broken, the sick, the needy. And it says, remove the heavy yoke of oppression. That's our mission. Remove the heavy yoke of oppression. And of course, oppression means that there is an oppressor, and that's the devil. And oppression can come socially, economically, psychologically, so many different ways. And through Jesus brings the good news. It's Jesus that has broken the oppressor's power. It is Jesus that says, pray. When you're praying, pray, your kingdom come. Part of the kingdom looks like when the poor and the needs are met by others, by us. So when in Matthew it says, seek first the kingdom, this has got to be a part of what we seek. We've got to be looking. I've got to be a people who are looking to see where is the need, where's the oppression, where's the brokenness, where's the injustice, because I believe that God has called us to step into it. In Galatians 2:10, Paul, an apostle, he's sent out, and he's talking to them in Galatians, and he's saying about how he was sent out by the apostles. He said, all that they asked, these are the 12 disciples. So when Paul went out to the Gentiles, these 12 disciples, 12 followers of Jesus, what was important to them is what they told Paul. Because he says, all they asked was that we should continue to remember the poor, the very thing that I was eager to do all along. It's the one thing that he'd been told to be aware of, and he was doing it. Because I think when God touches your heart, he gives you a compassion for those that would never repay the debt. Because this is how God works. He gives grace and mercy that's not deserved. Luke 6:38 says, give, it will be given to you. John Wimber, the founder of the Vineyard movement, he said, we give to get, because he was referring to that verse of where Jesus says, give and it will be given to you. There's like this blessing that comes as we give to other people. And I've seen that in my own life work its way out. And John Wimber says, so what we do is we give to get, but then to give again. We give to get to give. And the blessing of God is not for our own personal wealth. Do you remember the story of the old lady? She comes and brings a penny in the temple. And it was that little bit of giving. It was that out of that little that she had, Jesus made comment. And that was the most valuable gift that anyone gave in that temple that day as Jesus and his disciples looked. We can't wait until we have an increase to give, because you'll never get the increase. There's something that happens that when we give out of what we have now, it multiplies up. Matthew 25, verse 34, second passage I want to have a look at today. It talks about sheep and goats. It's a parable. It's a story that Jesus gave. Where is it? But when so he's telling us this parable, and he says, at the nations they'll be gathered in his presence, and we'll see people, the separation as a separate, shepherd separates the sheep and the goats, and he will place the sheep on his right hand and the goats on his left. And then the king will say to those on his right, come, you who are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom of God prepared for you from the creator of the world. For I was hungry and you fed me. I was thirsty and you gave me a drink. I was a stranger and you invited me into your home. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you cared for me. I was in prison and you visited me. Then these righteous ones will reply, Lord, when did we ever see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? Or a stranger and show you hospitality? Or naked and give you clothing? When did we ever see you sick or in prison and visit you? And the king will say, I tell you the truth. When you did it to one of these least of these brothers and sisters, you were doing it for me. If we're meeting the need of the poor, we find ourselves actually doing it for Jesus. I remember how powerful it was. I remember sitting in my car, saw a druggie on by the shops, asking people for money. And I remember sitting there just wanting to bless him somehow, but I felt impoverished. I didn't know what to say. I didn't actually have any money. I wasn't going to give it to him because he was going to go and buy it for, I could see that what he wanted it for, and I just didn't feel that was right. And I was worried about what people would think. I was sitting in the car thinking of 100 reasons why I shouldn't go and see him, but God had stirred it in my heart to something had just caught my eye, and I think this is sometimes what happens is we just see a need, we don't know what to do, but I found myself just praying. I was like, Lord God, would you come? What are you wanting to do? And I just felt him say, just go over to him and love him. And that's what I did, and I went over, and I asked him how his week was, and we started talking, and I was just looked in his eyes. He told me some stuff. I asked him if I could pray for him, and I just looked at his eyes, and his eyes just met with me, and they were powerful. And I was blown away. Tears coming down my face because I'm like, I just felt something create and generate out of the nothing that I had. And that's how God works. He multiplies up. And the vineyard value of remembering the poor is really important. And that's what we're going to be looking at today. We're going to have another time of worship. And of course, worship, that intimacy with God, is what is also key in the vineyard. We can meet with God. We're called to come and reach the poor and bless people in need. We can only do that through his strengthening. We can only do that as he changes our heart. And that's what I pray, because I want to get better at it. So we're going to do some worship, 2 more songs, and thank you. And I'll pass the mic back.
Thanks, Paul. Yeah, so I think next song is quite a good response to what Rod just said there. Faithful one, because the Lord is faithful to us and faithful to all those that we come across. So may this be our song of peace and in our hearts and for those that we come across. Faithful one, so unchanging, and ageless one, you're my rock of peace, Lord of all, I depend on you. I call out to you again and again. I call out to you again and again. You are my rock in times of trouble. You lift me up when I fall down, and all through the storm, your love is the anchor. My hope is in you alone. Faithful one, so unchanging, ageless one, you're my rock of peace, Lord of all, I depend on you. I call out to you again and again. I call out to you again and again. You are my rock in times of trouble. You lift me up when I fall down, and all through the storm, your love is the anchor. My hope is in you alone. You are my rock in times of trouble. You lift me up when I fall down, and all through the storm, your love is the anchor. My hope is in you alone. Thank the Lord. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, worship your holy name. The sun comes up, it's a new day dawning. It's time to sing a song again. Whatever may pass and whatever lies before me, let me be singing when the evening comes. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, worship His holy name. You're rich in love and you're slow to anger. Your name is great and your heart is kind. For all your goodness I will keep on singing. 10,000 reasons for my heart to find. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, worship your holy name. And on that day when my strength is failing, the end draws near and my time has come, still my soul sing your praise unending. 10,000 years and then forevermore. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, worship His holy name. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, worship your holy name. I'll worship your holy name. I'll worship your holy name. Amen. Ethan here as well, who joined us last minute, so well done.
Okay. Many vineyard churches have I don't know any that don't actually. They have some form of reaching out and compassion ministry. As one of the streams, like Laura said, this coming Saturday is a compassion stream because it's just so important as part of who we are. And at Southend Vineyard, obviously, most of you will know that's not an exception. One of the key ways that we meet with the poor as a church, I'm hoping that people are doing this individually and working out what that looks like. And obviously, there's ways that you could support. You could give it financially to what we're doing at the storehouse. You could bring food each Sunday, and when you're shopping, bring that extra, put those extra items in. We just want to be a people who bless people who don't have what it takes. And as a result, we do that as a church, and that's called the Southend Storehouse, which is a community cafe. I think there's roughly sort of 350 people a week, something like that, coming in, getting a food package. Most of those people stay and go down the cafe end. There's so many opportunities to get involved. I just love for us to be, as a church, if you haven't been there in the last 6 months, is there any way that you could just turn up, talk to Marie, and even if it's an hour, and just pull some weeds out from around outside, or just come and just bring a little extra bag of groceries, or as a church, this is really important to us because we want to take this remit of blessing and meeting the poor seriously. And so, what does that look like for you? How do you, you might be involved with your neighbours. It all looks different for different people. But as part of that project, Marie, come here. We have Marie who runs it, who is our manager. And I said, Marie, would you mind coming? Would you mind coming and I just asked you a couple of questions? I didn't give her what questions I was because I want it to be organic. And so just say what you want. Well, obviously you'll say what you want. Have you always had a passion for the poor? Go back a few years, and it's okay to say no.
No, I have. So I've always worked in the city, and I think 10 years ago I went sort of part-time, and thought I needed to do something, so I started working at Bellevue, volunteering at a food bank. So I was still working in London part-time, and then sort of COVID kind of hit, and I stopped working to be at home. And I really felt that I needed to go back and do something with the poor and just the most vulnerable. And I was really fortunate that I didn't have to rush back to work. And my husband, Dan, who's here today, said, you need to do something that you truly believe, your heart's in, and your passion. So I thought I'd just go for it. I see the advert. I was like, oh no, this is where I'm meant to be as an outreach worker for the women. And yeah, so I went for it. It's always been a passion for, I didn't really realise, I suppose.
Excellent. And what does that look like when what does it feel like when you're there at the storehouse, vulnerable? Some people, this would totally freak them out and scare them. Is this poverty in front of you and this sort of struggling with life in all sorts of different ways? I think we all do. We all have times of poverty in our lives. But what does that feel like when you're there caring for people?
I think most of the people at especially the offices, know how passion and the emotion, it's such a roller coaster. You're working and supporting the most vulnerable that you can imagine. And I suppose I never thought I'd be working with, drug addictions, and some of the guys there are quite scary, really, if I'm, honest, but you've just got this way with them, and you've got that way and the passion and the love for them and the respect that they are human, and no matter what their life is, they're still human and we still love, and it makes me very emotional quite a lot, but yeah.
And I know that this weekend is an example, because we've got some volunteers from Ford, haven't we? And they've given us a good amount of money as well to refurb the food room end. And this partly links because I know that Marie was there yesterday. But my question is, does it cost you? What's that feel like? Does it cost you anything giving to others?
I mean, I just can't. I'm so excited for Monday for them to walk through them doors to see what the change is, and it's only sort of painting on the floor at the moment. But I know it's so depressing. If you really please, if you can, to come visit the storehouse. So we've decorated the cafe and the hallway, and it looks amazing. And then you go into the food bank, which is the main bit, and it's so depressing. And that you had to, I suppose it does. I'm just excited to go there. I'm so excited. I'm like, And I have done a lot of hours. Rod, thanks.
She's done really well at avoiding my actual question, hasn't she? I think I won't go into details, but it does cost. There is that sense of like, I'm giving something here, and there could be that fear, and I think then that might be the reality of people. There's that fear of like, I don't have what it takes, or this is just so little, this is so insignificant. The cost on your family. We've walked through a journey and and I'm just so appreciative of you, Dan, and how your kids have got involved. They've been there doing the stuff as well, painting there is that sense of cost, doesn't it? But could you, all right, if you don't want to answer that one, can you answer, what do you get from it? Well, that's my last question. What do you get from it?
I don't know, I can't explain really what I get from it, if I'm honest. I can't put it into words. I can't think. Like, it just gets my heart every single day. I just go in, and the power that I feel, and I have volunteers, and that's another thing, isn't it, there, like the volunteers, and that's, you really take that on heart, because a lot of our volunteers have gone through a really hard time. I can't explain it. It's just, I think unless you work there or you visit, that you just can't get it, really, to be honest. It's just the passion of mine.
Okay, thank you. And I'm just remembering what we've read, that whatever you do for the least of others, you do for me. This work, the prison ministry that we do, the things that you are doing as individuals, the vulnerable that you're supporting, the neighbours that are crying and feel lonely and that you're visiting, we've got to be remembering and reminding ourselves, whatever we do for these people, we're doing for Jesus. It's as though he's there. And that's what the Isaiah 58 passage was talking about, wasn't it? Thank you, Marie. I want to thank you for your team, your family. Let's give her a round of applause.
Okay, well, you normally get me near the start, but today you got me near the end. So we are going to go on a little virtual tour of the storehouse in a moment, because I'm aware that some of you won't have actually been there before. It was quite a long time before I got there. Sort of when I started coming to Southend Vineyard, I was working full-time as a teacher in Hornchurch, and I just didn't have the opportunity to get there. And I have to be honest with you, I love serving there. It is such a privilege. It's exhausting in a way that you have possibly never known. Some of the people have got such extreme needs, and you can't meet them all, but you know that sort of through God working through you, that you are meeting them where they're at and bringing some blessing into their life, which is phenomenal. So if you haven't been to the storehouse, I get it. It can be hard to make that chance. Hopefully you'll get there at some point. If you can help regularly, then I know Marie would be super grateful for that too. So this video, I'm afraid it features me. You will notice that I'm walking slightly strangely. My hips and back are playing up. So if you think I look like I'm a penguin, then I apologise for that in advance. We were also trying not to fall over crates and things as we were going. So here is a very short walk-through experience of what it's like to go to the storehouse and collect your food bag. It will give you a bit of an idea, ready for the game we're about to play.
Hi everyone, just arrived at the storehouse, and this is what you'd expect if you come to collect a food bag. So at the front desk, we've got Karen today, sometimes we've got Sarah Jane or other people, and you just get checked in, you get a little ticket saying how many items you're entitled to, and if you can have nappies and wipes. And then we come round into the food room. We've got our amazing team of volunteers who'll help you choose your items off the shelf. You get up to 5 items, and then we've got fresh fruit and bread and vegetables that are extra as well. And then we have a very special cupboard where Veronica lives, and when she's good we let her out, where we keep all the nappies and wipes for people with younger children. After you've collected your food bag, you can come back down the corridor, which has recently been decorated, looking lovely. Got loads of encouraging phrases and things on the wall. And down this end, we've got the cafe. As you can see, loads of places just to sit down, have a cup of tea, a coffee and a chat. You can get some donuts or cakes or a sandwich, and sometimes there's hot meals. And then we've got our amazing storehouse shop as well, where lots of people come and get clothes, toys, things that they need, and then they can make a donation, and that helps support all the work we do here at the storehouse. Hope you've enjoyed the quick tour. Thank you.
Okay, a whistle-stop tour of the storehouse. And it's looking even better than that now. They've attacked the food room as well. And really looking forward to a non-slip floor this winter. Thank you, Lord, for the provision of non-slip paint. So we're going to end our live stream that's going online now because we're going to play a game. So if you're with us online,